there's a problem. The rookie sensation Caitlin Clark, who lit up arenas and broke attendance records, just had one of her worst games ever. Additionally, the Indiana Fever as a whole appeared to have forgotten how to play basketball.
No, if she's going to destroy Caitlin Clark long term, she's going to destroy Caitlin Clark short.
However, this downturn isn't a one-time occurrence, nor is it the result of a lousy shooting night. Now, fans are discovering something crazy. Significant evidence against head coach Stephanie White is confirmed by leaked video. What follows alters everything you believe to be true about this club and Clark's future in White's system, so you'll want to stay put. A little snippet from an Indiana Fever practice live stream that was quickly removed appeared on social media late last week. In it, Stephanie White mutters, "This structure doesn't fit a playmaker like Clark," as she paces the movie room, red-faced and pointing to a tactics chart. "Instead of hero ball, we need mid-range movement." Fans posted screenshots and audio clips to Reddit, Instagram, and Twitter in a matter of minutes. Comment sections blew up right away. She is in a panic. That is blatantly biased and serves as evidence that she is conspiring against Clark. The
post also includes a quote from Mavs radio announcer, "Lower usage rate from this year." That's all it is. That's all it is. Like, it is you can sucker punch a team once off. That's all you're going to get, though, is one off.
Given that it happened right after Caitlin's most trying event, analysts surmised that White's private frustration had suddenly become public knowledge. Any hope of impartial coaching was dashed by this one tape, which escalated months of on-court conflicts into a major crisis and made everyone wonder if White's strategy was ever intended to allow Clark to succeed. Go back to April 18th, 2024, when Stephanie White made a shocking announcement while entering ESPN's noon radio booth. The Mavs simply perform better without Luka, you see. He hoards the ball. The ball moves, and everyone rises when he gets off the ground. This wasn't just idle talk. While leading Dallas to the NBA Finals that season, Lucic Doncic averaged an incredible 33.1 points, 8.7 assists, and 8.5 rebounds. The video went viral, garnering over 500,000 views on social media in a matter of hours. Doris Burke, a seasoned pundit, denounced it as basketball malpractice. "You can't bench your MVP and expect magic," wrote Tim Coe, the beat reporter for the Mavericks, on Twitter. Additionally, memes linking White's comment to heresy proliferated on fan threads. Mavericks players also contributed. In a post-game interview, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope dismissed the accusation with a laugh, stating, "We need our guy out there." However, White's strategy in Indiana was based on the same viewpoint, treating your franchise star like a liability. Now, Caitlin Clark, who broke rookie records, is caught up in the same mentality that undervalued one of the NBA's best players. One unwavering premise is at the core of Stephanie White's coaching philosophy. The system always comes first, regardless of the player. She supports a democratic offense where the ball must move about all the time. It is not permitted for one athlete to dominate. According to her, high-usage stars raise red flags since they are perceived as chemistry disruptors rather than team builders. White's strategy is based on well-planned rotations and spacing patterns that are intended to eliminate any suggestion of isolation basketball. To guarantee that every player touches the ball at least twice prior to a scoring opportunity, each possession is divided into 2 option plays and accurate 5-second reads. This strategy, in principle, levels the playing field. While opponents are kept guessing, role players feel empowered. However, you snuff out the best qualities of athletes whose value is derived from their capacity to improvise and impose their will when you apply that cold, mechanical framework to them. Caitlin Clark and other generational talents thrive in chaos. She pulls up from deep when no one else would, maneuvers through traps with handles that left defenders grasping for air, and assesses defenses in real time. She becomes simply another cog when she is locked into a motion offensive that is one size fits all. There are direct practical repercussions. The mid-range is where possessions stagnate. Shot clocks don't have a rhythm. Additionally, before they can get into a groove, players come and go. As White juggles minutes to stay balanced, bench rotations bloat, leaving no obvious go-to option when the game is on the line. As excellent scoring opportunities disappear and the center's superstar is shut out of the very system she was supposed to improve, role players become agitated. Instead of empowering your best player, build your squad on unpredictability, and the outcome will be predictable. Forced timeouts, dry spells, and growing annoyance both on and off the court. That annoyance is growing in Indiana more quickly than the shot clock. And it all stems from a single, unwavering mentality that prioritizes mathematical perfection over actual basketball brilliance. Clark was anticipated to recover in the game against the Connecticut Sun on April 10th. She has played her first 3 games with an average of 22.4 points for assists and 7.1 assists. Instead, she clearly struggled to create a rhythm as she only managed 9 points on 3 of 16 shooting, 19%, 2 assists, and 4 turnovers. After the second half started, her usage rate fell from 32% to 24%, and she received fewer than 4 touches every quarter. The scoreboard was only one aspect of the story, though, as the Fever dropped to a 2-2 record. Within minutes of the final buzzer, social media was ablaze. The free hashtag number for more than 2 hours, Caitlin dominated the top 10 trending topics on X, and according to fan surveys, 68% of respondents blamed coaching choices rather than Clark's performance. Following resale ads that stated there was no Clark guarantee and to avoid her unless she was back in the offense, secondary market tickets for the upcoming home game increased by 15% on Ticketmaster. Season ticket holders shared screenshots in their Instagram comments. "I spent $200 to witness her magic, not this blunder. And until they stop putting her in a tight spot, no more." This goes beyond just internet venting. It directly affects the franchise's source of income. A further fan exodus due to Clark's poor handling might cost the Fever 6-figure ticket sales over the following 5 home games, as average home attendance is already down 7% from opening week. Not to mention sponsorships linked to Clark's growing star status. The message is unambiguous. There are serious financial repercussions for misusing a generational talent, and fans aren't holding back. The commotion extends beyond comment sections and is affecting the Fever's financial results. Since mid-March, season ticket renewals have decreased by 12%, and according to fan polls, 43% of participants are thinking about canceling their subscriptions if Clark's role doesn't grow. In only the last week, posts including the hashtags #ForCaitlin and #FireHeight have received over 1.2 million impressions on social media, putting pressure on sponsors to reconsider their collaborations. Due to concerns that squandered ad space during inactive possessions would damage their brand image, local advertisers involved in arena promotions have discreetly halted renewals. Reporters were informed by a person close to a local sports sponsor that if the team's engagement metrics keep declining, they're assessing our exposure risk. A 9% reduction in live watch numbers during the Fever games has also been reported by national broadcasters, which is concerning for a league that is already struggling for broadcast funding. There are reports of emergency meetings being held internally by front office personnel. Concession suppliers are preparing for a 10 to 15% drop in per capita expenditure, while ticketing revenue analysts predict a 6F figure loss for the season if the backlash continues. To put it briefly, every possession that is stopped is more than just a missed point. There are empty seats, lost goods sales, and the reputation of the franchise at stake. The financial consequences will only worsen unless Stephanie White returns to leveraging Caitlin Clark's skills, which would put the league and the Fever on precarious terrain. The WNBA is not where Stephanie White got her anti-star stance. Her time at Vanderbilt under Carolyn Peck, the coach who initially solidified the system over superstar theory, is when it all began. After winning a national championship at Purdue, Peck brought White onto her staff in 2014, bringing those same strict values to Nashville. Together, they developed an offensive strategy that placed equal touch quotas and set rotations first, clearly excluding any player who attempted to take over. The consequences were severe and swift. Vanderbilt had the poorest record in program history in the 2014-15 season, finishing with a 723 record. The Chaos offense was criticized by local sports reporters for producing stale possessions and bad shot selection, even though 3 players who had combined for nearly 40 points per game the previous season were brought back. One headline read, "Door derailed by dogma." After privately circulating a petition calling for greater flexibility for their preferred scores, players were faced with the same blatant restriction. No exclusions, no seclusion. In 2015-16, White and Peck doubled down instead of changing direction, advocating for greater ball equality despite growing losses. The Commodores lost all momentum and had a 30% drop in average attendance as they fell to 7-24. Following a home loss to an unranked opponent, campus protests broke out, and local radio stations labeled the staff basketball team's ultimate killers. Both Peck and White were gone by March 2016. Despite the obvious historical evidence that the superstar of Earth systems had failed horribly, White revived the same pattern when she got to Indiana. Now that Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's most talented rookie, has been forced into the same disastrous framework, Nashville's warning signs look uncannily accurate. The catastrophe at Vanderbilt wasn't an isolated incident. Under the guise of schematic purity, it was the first chapter of a mindset that continuously destroys exceptional potential. Furthermore, Clark's potential will continue to be constrained by a playbook that has already demonstrated its inability to win with its greatest players until White rejects that doctrine. The bottom line is as follows. Stephanie White previously said that Luka Doncic wasn't necessary for the Mavericks to succeed. She is currently leading an offense that improves the fever in the absence of Caitlin Clark. Do you spot the trend? This isn't growing pains or rookie jitters.